A lot of people say to me, Trey, why do you like Houston so much? And I had to say, I don't know. I just like it. You may think that Houston is all just like buildings and concrete and cowboys and yeehaw and all that. There is like downtown is like this beautiful set of just like geometric blocks that are worth just checking out by itself. But the city is actually super creative and has a commitment to art coming out of its pores in a way that is unlike any other place. It's so unique, and there's so many places I love to visit. One thing that's going to be necessary for being in Houston is to have a car. You're not going anywhere if you don't have a car here, and the bigger the better. So good thing we have one. Okay, one of my favorite moments of public art, definitely in Houston, maybe in the world, is the compound where sculptor David ADICKES stores his presidential heads. I've heard a lot of different stories about why these are all stored in one place. I don't know what the truth is, but one time David let me come on the property with a dancer from Houston Ballet, Reese Kozakowski, and let us climb all over the heads and take photographs. And he was just like such a generous and warm and open artist. And after we shot, he spent the afternoon with us telling stories and describing the musical that he's working on, and just being a really generous, creative soul. So I like to always go back and pay them a visit whenever I'm in town. It's not really a place that's open to the public, but the gates are open, and every time I've gone, people there have been so welcoming and let me just tool around. James Turrell's Sky Space is on the campus of Rice University and was built in 2012. It's one of 87 different sky spaces that this artist has built around the world. It's this beautiful pyramid structure that's there on the campus, and you can go inside and see a presentation that happens both at sunrise and sunset.
Turrell is an artist who specializes in light and space as his primary media.
Yes, it's light. His medium is light. This guy makes art using natural light from the sun. You go inside and you like sit in these marble benches and stare up through a square in the ceiling, and there's light, colors of light projected onto the ceiling that then contrast with the sky that you can see through the opening. And yes, I know what reaction you're having. When I sat there for the first couple minutes, I thought, oh brother, I'm gonna stare at this guy in some color. But then you get sucked into it, and it starts playing tricks with your eyes, and you start to kind of like have this intense meditative experience, and you start to experience the world in different ways. And it's really, he's just such a special artist, and it's such a cool thing to be a part of this. You just realize in that moment how fast you move all day and how fast your brain moves, and it sucks you in to just slow down and consider just looking at the sky. Just look up at the sky. And like, there's so many moments where the space plays with your eyeballs and you perceive a non-changing light source, which is the sun, as making drastic changes in levels. Suddenly the sky goes black when you know it's not black, or it'll turn the same color as the ceiling for a period of time. There's even a couple moments where like the frame that the square that frames the sky just dissolves and you see solid color. It's really a trip. The Williams Tower is the 4th tallest building in Texas, and right outside is this massive water wall. It's shaped like a big horseshoe, and if you go and stand inside that horseshoe, you're totally surrounded by rushing water, and it's also a little bit of a head trippy experience. I've known of people who have dumped laundry detergent into this waterfall, and I think it's a bad idea. I don't recommend it, but I wish I saw it. The Buffalo Bayou is somewhat legendary here in Houston. When I lived here, it was just a gross kind of cesspool, but they've really cleaned it up and made this beautiful park here in Houston. One time a manatee swam all the way from Galveston Bay, like it's like an hour drive So I don't know what kind of swim it is if you're a manatee, but swam all the way to Houston. There is a cistern, I am told, that was formerly a public works area, and it sprang a leak that they couldn't fix. So they were going to do a whole bunch of different things, like make a parking garage, or I don't know, probably put some toxic waste or something there. But instead, they decided to make it this beautiful park. And so I actually just learned about it. It's been there for a while, and so we're going to go check it out today. The Rodeo of Rodeos is the Houston livestock show and rodeo. It features, amongst other things, livestock aplenty, show, rides aplenty, a few of which I partook myself, and some of the most exotic foods you will ever be able to try, including the world famous chicken sandwich where the bread is a donut, and Fruity Pebbles served with fried shrimp on a stick. I was able to have the opportunity to be with Houston Ballet principal dancer Chun Wei Chen as he tried his first deep fried cheesecake.
Yeah? Wow. Wow. Is that good? Amazing. I already love cheesecake. And this one? Whoa.
I am not a huge fan of museums, to be honest. I prefer stores, but one exception to that rule for me is the MENIL collection here in Houston. I think it distinguishes itself, like many of the best museums, in the building itself more than the collection that it holds inside. It's a really beautiful piece of architecture, and the color of the building, the kind of gray, taupey, khaki color. All the houses in the neighborhood are painted the same color, and that's kind of a cool thing. I'm not sure how they made that happen. Maybe they bought all the houses. And there's these just like gorgeous trees twisting and winding. It's really just kind of like an idyllic little peaceful Zen garden in the middle of Houston. And today's a particularly nice day. People are out in the sunshine enjoying themselves. So I had a nice little relaxing stroll. The Orange Show is a castle in tribute to the orange made by folk artist and mail carrier Jeff McKissick. Chun Wei and I went in one day and we did a photo shoot with the costumes from our new ballet. So those are some of my favorite things to do in Houston, just a few on a very long list. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week for an episode about the making of pretty things.